After the Rangers' attack, Axel wakes up with vivid dreams. He looks terrible and remembers the scene when the Rangers took Vanessa away. Axel awakens his friends, Scarlett, Julius, and the doctor, and asks them to head toward the north as he sees them leaving before passing out. Julius says they need a plan because they can't fight Rangers directly. Before they can leave, Scarlett says she saw the chopper left toward the south before she passed out. Axel argues, but she says that you were passed out before me, so it's better if we move toward the south. On the way, Axel tells Scarlett it's tough to find these shadow organizations. Scarlett says it's an easy task to find their hideouts for army men, and chuckles. Suddenly, 3 police vehicles come behind them, seeing which they stop their truck. The group steps out of the truck and confronts the officers. Officer Walt asks them where are they heading, and Axel says they're heading toward Denver to find their friend. Walt invites them to have some fun at their resort, but Axel denies the invitation. Walt tells him, "I know you are a soldier," and requests them to come. Axel looks at his friends' faces and accepts Walt's invitation. Then, Walt and the other 2 officers introduce themselves to the whole group. Reaching the resort, Walt takes their weapons and says, "You can take them back before leaving." When Scarlett and others question, Walt says it's just for safety precautions, but Scarlett still hides a blade, and they enter inside. Walt tells them about the place, and the cells are caged for the safety of sleep. He shows them modernized weapons, but when Axel asks him to take some bullets, Walt refuses to give them. After that, Axel and Scarlett take a shower, and she tells him that Walt doesn't seem trustworthy. Axel says after the dinner we'll steal some weapons and leave. Walt takes Axel and Scarlett in the kitchen, where they imprison a female vampire for the barbecue. The officer nails the vampire, and Walt drills her to death. Seeing this, Axel Scarlett leaves while they continue the cooking. Axel tells Doc and Julius that they eat vampires, and the group decides to leave now. While Axel, Doc, and Scarlett are stealing weapons, Julius goes into the kitchen only to find a vampire inside the oven. He stabs the vampire, but then a female appears and attacks him. He kills the woman and catches up with the group, but before they can leave, Walt arrives and catches them. They want to test if they are humans or vampires and take them to the roof. They plan to toss them off. If they die, they are humans, and if they don't, they are vampires. This happens because of Julius, as he attempts to save the vampire earlier. Suddenly, they heard screeching from afar, and Scarlett tells them that's the Sisterhood. They're killers. Despite her warnings, Walt and his crew go to talk with them. Elsewhere in the woods, Lucky and Flesh are on the hunt for Muhammad, who is taken by Sam. Suddenly, they see Dimitri with his minions holding some humans as prisoners. Scab kills one of the prisoners to feed, and seeing this, Flesh decides to save those people. At night, Lucky and Flesh follow Dimitri through the woods. Dimitri says to Scab that humans need rest and food because if they don't, they die. And if they die, they'll have no food, so they stop for the night. Lucky and Flesh manage to rescue some people, and when Scabs is just about to chase them, Dimitri stops him saying, "Let them go. Nothing can stop our pursuit of Scarlett." 1996, a waitress said goodbye to her friend and went inside without noticing a man behind her. The man walks inside the cafe and orders a steak of raw meat in a growling voice. He's a vampire, though they give him the steak. He pours the blood in a glass and drinks it, and then asks them about the Harkers' address. The waitress tells him that it's located near West Edge County, and vampires leave after fearing them. Back to the present, Walt and his crew are killed by the sisters. Scar manages to free herself and her group, and they rush to leave the place. Outside, the sisters are waiting for them, and the remaining officer asks them to leave from the back door. He knows the way toward Crooked Falls, and the group runs to save themselves. Meanwhile, Dimitri and his minions are getting close by following Scarlet's blood trail. The group decides to split up in two, and Scar and Axel leave while the three continue along the path. Doc, Julius, and the officer are attacked by the vampire, which they manage to kill, but the officer is bitten. Doc has no other choice except to kill him. In the woods, Axel and Scar are chased by the sisters. Axel opens fires at them, but nothing happens, and Scar tells him that they are 200 years old evil and can't killed by the bullets. They run into the cemetery where the sisters can't come in, and the duo escapes. They find an abandoned van, and after removing the dead bodies, they take shelter inside. Doc and Julius spend the night in a store where they eat some snacks and set out to find Axel and Scar. Meanwhile, Axel asks Scar about her skills, and she tells him that before the apocalypse, her boyfriend left her because of her father. He trained her as a vampire hunter, but she didn't believe her. One night while she was training, a vampire emerges, the same vampire from the cafe. Her father saves her and then asks her to make her first kill. She hesitates but slits his neck. Axel says you're lucky because nobody knows about them, they are coming. She then asks him how he joined the army, and Axel says she also had a sister but accidentally dropped her from the swing. She died, and I left the house and joined the army, and then protected Vanessa after the apocalypse. A moment of loneliness touched their soul, and they had a kiss. Moments later, the sisters arrive and surround them. With no other choice, they step outside. They start fighting, and one of them is killed by Axel, while the other two fight Scar. Scarlet is bitten by the sister but doesn't turn, and the sister who bites her turns into a human. Scarlet remembers that's happened because Vanessa bites her, while the remaining sister kills her fellow and runs away. Doc and Julius are looking for the duo, and they are attacked by Scab and Dimitri. Dimitri kills Julius and takes the key to the elder's coffin. He wants to free the elderly for more power, and it'll also lead them to victory. Doc spits on Dimitri's face, but he lets her go, asking her to tell Van Helsing that they are coming. Back in the past, Scarlet and her father took the dead body inside the house, burned it, and then left. In the present, Scar and Axel set a bonfire and to spend the night. Vanessa wakes up in a mysterious facility run by Dr. Bruce Harrison, who believes she holds the key to curing vampirism. She tries to escape but learns the place is heavily guarded and built into a mountain. A nurse, Abigail, claims to have known Vanessa's mother and reveals that Vanessa and Scarlet's abilities were an accident from an experiment at the farm. Abigail later confesses she's actually Vanessa's mother. With this new knowledge, Vanessa agrees to help turn a vampire back into a human. When Dr. Bruce doesn't get the results he wants, he demands she find the elder. Vanessa and Abigail attempt to escape, but it's all a trap. Abigail isn't her mother after all. She shoots Vanessa, revealing the real goal was Scarlet all along. A couple of years back, Muhammad killed a vampire and took his food, and saw Sam repairing his car, unaware of the vampire approaching. Muhammad calls him, but he doesn't listen, and still manages to kill the vampire. That's the first time when they see each other, and Muhammad leaves. At night, Muhammad saw Sam was attempting suicide. He ran into the building and saved him. Sam is deaf, but Muhammad offers him friendship because they both were human at that time. Back to the present, Muhammad is growling in pain, and seeing this, Sam asks him to let me turn you. Muhammad says, Vanessa bites me to save my life, and asks Sam to taste his blood to become human again. Sam doesn't want to be a human again, but promises Muhammad to save his life. He goes to the basement where kept humans as prisoners and grabs a teenage girl, Kara, who he's been using as a kind of nursemaid to care for the others. He asks her to take care of his friend and takes her to Muhammad. Kara removes the infection from Muhammad's stomach, which is a painful process while Sam waits outside. Muhammad and Kara plan to kill Sam so they can escape. Elsewhere, Sam is having an impromptu dance party with one of his captives, and we learn all sorts of new things about him, like the fact that he grew up here in this house. He was a shy kid, which is possibly code for murdered animals for fun, because he's a serial killer. When Sam returns, Muhammad and Kara attack him and try to stab him. They fail, and Sam wants to kill Kara, but Muhammad begs for her life. Sam let her run and now wants to hunt her and catches her with ease. Muhammad arrives on time, but Sam stabs Kara to start her turning process. Muhammad tells Sam no one loves him, which finally causes Sam to snap. He bites Kara, and in a desperate move, Muhammad grabs Sam's scissors and stabs her rather than see her turn into a vampire. Then, Muhammad kills himself, and it's a shocking event for Sam as his friend dies in front of him. Sam takes Muhammad's body to the church, cuts his own index finger, and hangs himself to death. Just as Muhammad wakes up, slowly turning into a vampire. While the rest of the group fight for survival, Axel and Scarlet defend a mountain stronghold against a relentless foe. Doc makes a medical discovery that could change everything. Dimitri seeks the Elder's crypt with Scab and Ivory, guided by a vampiric oracle who kills the rest of his crew. Meanwhile, Scarlet and Abigail race to the crypt, where Abigail reveals she once experimented on the Dark One's blood. Inside the crypt's maze, both groups face disturbing visions of their pasts. Dimitri recalls his dark origins, while Abigail reveals the Elder was imprisoned by the Van Helsings to prevent the Dark One's rise. At the crypt, Dimitri overpowers Scarlet, forcing Abigail to open it. The Elder awakens, bound to serve the Van Helsing bloodline. Scarlet orders him to eliminate Dimitri and find Vanessa. As Abigail dies, she urges Scarlet to take the blood vial. Elsewhere, in the wreckage of Dr. Bruce's facility, the Elder revives Vanessa with a bite. She awakens, reborn. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and press the bell icon for the upcoming recaps.